Endeavour Houston, a pleasant good morning to the blue team.
Good morning, Mario, and that was a lovely piano piece. Thanks for waking us up with it.
Welcome aboard Endeavour. I thought what we would do today is tell you a little bit about all the maneuvers that we do on this flight. First, before we do that, we can show you a great picture because the sun angle is really nice right now of the extended mast. And now you can see the configuration that we've got. We've got these two radars that are separated by the 200-foot extension of this mast. And both of the radars, the one in the payload bay and the one in the at the end of the mast, need to be tracking the same piece of ground as we orbit the Earth. Okay, so now we've got these two radars that are tracking across the Earth, and what we want to make sure is that they're always pointing in the same direction that we think they are. The problem is the Earth is rotating at the same time that we're in orbit around the Earth. The only time that the two vectors or the two directions are exactly the same, and you can probably imagine that, is whenever the space shuttle is orbiting directly east or directly west. And of course, it's never going to happen going to the west. But when we travel directly east, we're at the top of our orbit, across the top of the orbital inclination, or at the very bottom. Whenever we're somewhere other than that, we're not lined up directly with the rotation of the Earth. And what happens then is similar to what you would you can make an analogy of a car going down the road in a skid. The lights are not pointing down the middle of the road the way you want them to, and so you're going to get a little bit of an error in what you're looking at. And the same thing is true with our radars. If the radar is not pointing exactly down the center of our orbit, then we're going to get some Doppler shift or an error in the radar return, and to account for that, we come up with a maneuver that we perform twice every orbit, or every 45 minutes. So on this flight, we're performing on the order of 300 of these zero Doppler steering maneuvers that put a slow, very slow bias turn into the direction the space shuttle is traveling, so that we can keep our headlights or our radar pointing straight along our path. What we do to accomplish that is just to put in a small 5-degree did not do that, we would obviously introduce an error in the radar returns, and right now we don't really have fixable. So I hope that explains what we're doing on this flight with zero Doppler steering. Again, that's a heck of a lot of maneuvers, and we've got mission control watching out for us every 45 minutes to make sure we keep up with those. So far, we haven't missed one, and I don't think we will for the flight. But if you hear zero Doppler steering maneuvers, that's what we're doing. And what I'd like to do now is turn the microphone over to Mamoru, who's going to give us a little fam around the flight deck and show you everything that we've got set up here.
Now, I'd like to have a tour to our payload stuff. Well, for radar observation, basically we have two major instruments. One is the control of the position of the outboard antenna, just Don mentioned. Have accurate position of the outboard antenna, which is long, extended 60 meters, such a long, which is the longest structure ever flown by the space shuttle. So to control the outboard antenna position, we have two PGSC laptop computer. One that has 3 LEDs light. Then we can position with 1 pixel 7 millimeter accuracy, so that we can 7 millimeters with such a long distance is very hard to control, but this is a very accurate device. And the other portion of the important our payload instrument is radar data observation. So for that purpose, we have 3 recorders in flight deck and 3 more just for contingency operation in the mid deck. Here's the one recorder, which is for mainly X-band radar. And we have 2 more the other side of the flight deck for C-band radar recording. Well, let me conclude our radar portion, and then we have much more instruments, small instruments like observation of the Earth. Lot of cameras. Here it is. For example, here, EarthCom electric camera. So we just heard this morning that over 1,000 pictures have already been taken by the intermediate students in the United States, Germany, and Japan. And here we have more cameras here, F5 and HDTV, mainly window. And we have here world map, PGSC, laptop computer. We can know where we are flying right now.
Pick me a town in any clime where people like a rockin' time and stay awake for day and night till everybody's feeling good and right. It's gonna be I wanna be I'm having a little boy now, so I can rock and roll just standing by my soul. 10 Cadillacs, a diamond mill, 10 suits of clothes to dress to kill, a 10-room house, some barbecue, and 50 chicks not over 22. It's so me. I wanna be. Now, boy, you can see why I wanna be not having it real now, so I can rock and roll and satisfy my soul. 100 bands with chorus girls, a street that's paved with natural pearls, a wagon load of bonds and stocks, then open up the door with 4 knocks. And so me, I wanna be. Now listen, boys, only smack out in the middle right now, so Ray can rock and roll to satisfy his soul.
Good morning, Endeavour and the Red Shift, Kevin and Janet and Gerhardt. And as Ray Charles just said, you are smack dab in the middle of Endeavour's mission to map the entire planet.
Good morning, Chris. Thanks very much for that lively music. We feel great being here and that we're halfway done, and we're looking forward to the completion of this mission and bringing home a great map of the Earth.
And payloads passed on that even though we're halfway through the flight, you've already mapped 70% of the targeted land mass at least once, 35% of it twice, and you're exactly halfway the use of tapes and everything for the C and X bin on board. Things are going just great. Good morning.
That's really great news. Thanks for the update.
Zu der bisherige Verlauf mit der Mission, sind Sie zufrieden?
My first question is, are you satisfied with the mission? We are very happy with the progress of the mission. It goes just as planned and better than we anticipated. And we are happy to report that everything is proceeding as planned. We're almost through with our three-dimensional card.
Aufgrund der Flugbahn, die wir fliegen, haben wir schon etliches zweimal kartografiert.
Due to the flight path that we take, we have recorded many things twice.
70% einmal kartografiert. Die restlichen 30%, die wir noch nicht bekommen haben, werden wir in
we have mapped 70% once.
Mit dem zweiten Pass über die 70%, die wir noch nicht überflogen haben.
And
Wenn Sie jetzt mal aus dem Fenster
complete the
schauen, falls Sie
mapping.
das von Ihrer Position aus können, was sehen Sie gerade? Wo befinden Sie sich?
If you look out of the window, if you can, from this position, what do you see from there?
Wir kommen gerade über Europa.
We are just coming over Europe, and if we look exactly, we are above
Wie ist denn Ihr
France, and
Tagesablauf
it
so?
should
Man
be
kann sich das
dark
so schlecht
outside.
vorstellen, wenn man nun hier auf der
How
Erde
does
ist.
your
Können Sie
day
das kurz beschreiben?
go along? We cannot imagine that very well here on Earth. Can you describe it? Basically, the course of the day is the same as on Earth. In the morning, after getting up, you shave and have breakfast. Then you have the morning briefing with the shift that worked at night when we were sleeping. And then we control and keep under control the radar imaging system. The unusual thing is that every 90 minutes we experience a
Gab es denn
sunset
jetzt
and
einen
sunrise.
kritischen Moment? Also Sie hatten eine kleine Panne.